I am being hated on so much for simply changing sides.
Hey guys, so just to respond to the Stitch, I do find it worrying about people are changing from left to right, but I do understand, not that I'm going to the right, but the thing is, it's not the left, it's the center, and the center has been around for centuries now. We call it liberals and conservatives, Democrats and Republicans, but not until recently. They've basically been the same party, and of course they are kind of similar in that they want a capitalistic lifestyle, but in essence they're both center. They're center left and center right, and people are sick of the center because nothing gets done, and we're not offering a far left. And throughout history now, we've been demonizing the left. And I remember learning in my history class that I'm Canadian. The Canadian government was more worried about communism and stopping communist parties from forming than it was worried about fascism and the Nazism rising about in Canada. And that's the problem. We're more worried about the left, which is actually protecting people, than the right, which is damaging people. And this is why people are going to the right, because they don't feel that there's another choice and that there's another option and that gonna do something new. So not to make fun of that girl or demonize her, it's just that she has gone to the right because the center is not enough anymore. And the thing is, the people are confusing the left with the center left. So they're thinking, which, let's be honest, the Democrats in Canada, they would be conservatives, to be honest. They're not even left at all. And yet, they're considered left by America, and they're called communists when they're not even close to it. So I really think we need, and this is why I'm out here, I'm trying to advocate for a far left perspective and really help educate people along those lines, because I realized when I got to university, I had to re-educate myself on a lot of things, because schools are Trump is right, schools are indoctrination centers. He's changing the schools to have a more far-right mindset, but schools are still doctrinization. They are changing the way we think, and they're molding children into what the government wants them to be. And it's why schools are generally liberal, because the neoliberal mindset is about the world, and they want the world to be a certain way. And until we stop trying to force people to think a certain way, things won't change. And what Trump's doing, oh, look what he's going to do. He's not changing anything. He's just changing the doctrine that students are learning. It will still be indoctrination, but it will just be a different type. And I think that's really scary that happens. And again, if you look at the votes, uneducated people went for Trump. Not to be mean or anything, but people who didn't go to postgrad and relearned everything that they were taught in school, they don't know how to change that. And again, people who aren't taught critical thinking are more likely to be turned and swayed. And this is the problem. Capitalism wants us to be gullible, and they want us not to be educated so they can control us. And until we change that, until we change the world and that's where it's going to be difficult. And this is also why when the Soviet Union happened, there wasn't technology, and people were most of the country was served highly uneducated. And it's why they thought they had to lead the people until they were educated, and then it would be better. And of course that didn't happen because people wanted the power and kept it for themselves. And this is why I advocate for augmented democracy, because power as has been seen in studies, actually affects the mind, actually makes people dumber in some sense. And when people get power, they crave more of it and they don't want to let it go. Which is why an autocracy, really great for getting things done, but it also means a loss in human rights. And of course, also depends what we think, because people think, oh, let's save all. Well, that's what they teach us. That's not what they practice. And they're not utilitarian either. They're like, we're going to benefit for ourselves, which is totally worse. And we can't save all. It's a complete fallacy, which is why I believe that utilitarianism is the best. And they really go on dividing lines and basically diversity, which is also why I say diversity isn't a good thing, because they use what makes people different against them, and they use it on different people to form blocks of thinking, like we only trust a certain type of people and not the rest, which is a big problem. And again, it's been seen in studies, people are more likely to go into their own group, and it's very easy to demonize another group, which is why I propose for those things. And it just really is a scary time, and I hope that people see this and they change their mind and they think about learning more critical thinking and change how we are so that we can have a better world.